Hello everyone and welcome to another review. Today we're actually going to review a fragrance from the house of Guerlain. This is a very popular fragrance, one that has been around for a very long time, none other than Rouge. So as you can see from the bottle, that is the actual bottle design. Now I did the actual review off of a sample. This is an official sample that I got after I ordered from Guerlain, and they kind of packaged this one in. So I figured I would go ahead and take the chance to just take a quick review of this one. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this fragrance was released a long time ago. In fact, by a long time, I mean 1965. It was remastered into the fragrance that you see today, but I'm told that it still bears some similarities or some really close similarities to original fragrance. It's been redone to, I guess, try and make it a little bit more modern. I'm not sure what the reason was, but either way, it's not the exact carbon copy of the fragrance that was in 1965. Could be for many different reasons, but either way. Now, it's available in two different sizes. It's available in the 1.7 and the 3.4. 1.7 is going to run you $63, and the 3.4 is going to run you about $90. Both of which you can find a lot cheaper online if you take a look at it. Now, another really important thing to mention right off the bat is there are three different concentrations for Rouge. The first concentration is the EDT, which is this review. So Eau de Toilette. The other concentration is Eau de Parfum, and the third concentration is the it's the oil. I forgot what the heck the third concentration was, but know that there are three concentrations, and they all come in very similar looking bottles. The only distinguishing feature to them is the degree of redness that's actually on the bottle. But other than that, they say either EDT, EDP, or whatever the third one is. I forget. But either way, so this review, again, is just on the EDT. Now, the fragrance was created by Jean-Paul Guerlain was the one who actually created it, which he's obviously the mainstay in the house. So with that, let us go straight into the actual notes for the actual fragrance. The notes consist of, at our top, we have orange, basil, bergamot, Brazilian rosewood, lemon, lime, and tangerine. For our mid, we have carnation, sandalwood, patchouli, cinnamon, jasmine, cedar, and rose. And for our base, we have lambdamum, leather, amber, benzoin, oak moss, and vanilla. So when you spray this scent, I can tell you right off the bat, when you first spray it, you may be initially fooled. It comes across as a very powerful citrus. It comes across, the citrus blast hits you, the lemon, the lime, all of that citrus kind of comes at you and remains around for a bit. But that immediately recedes and kind of comes into the background, and you start to get more of a leathery vanilla scent. I would say a sweet leather scent is the best way I can actually describe it, which sounds awesome, and to me is actually very awesome. I actually just love the smell once it actually came through. The one thing that it does kind of remind me, though, is it kind of reminds me of, I'm not sure of the barbers that you use, but some of the barbers that I use kind of apply this aftershave to you sometimes after they finish shaving you up. I think it's Aramis, or it could be something else, or I've heard this somewhere else. It's some Chanel, could be using different ones. But anyway, to me, it kind of smells like a cross between that and Old Spice, and that's kind of one of the vibes that I get from it as I'm actually applying it. Now, overall though, I get sweet leather and vanilla that actually come off on this scent, and the rose in this scent actually comes up, and it brings up a little bit of a floral vibe to it, and it also brings up a little bit of a powdery vibe. So overall, this scent is actually a powdery type of a scent, not too powdery as I've seen with a couple other fragrances, but it does have a powdery vibe to it. Overwhelmingly leather, vanilla, and citrus. Now, some have seen that they get primarily lemon. I really get citrus because I can't really tell if it's lemon or some of the other things, so I'm just calling it citrus. Now, a reviewer or somebody on Fragrantica actually had a perfect description as I was reading through, and they described it as sweet dust. And I thought that was actually a perfect thing. I read the quote off of Monsieur Aramis, who was actually one of the posters on Fragrantica, and I thought that description was spot on. He actually, I think, got it from somebody else as well too. But sweet dust is actually the perfect description to it. And again, overall, it's a little bit of a powdery scent. Personally, I go anywhere between anywhere between 1 and 3 sprays. This is a powerhouse. This is an old school type of a powerhouse fragrance that has an old school vibe to it. What that means is 1 spray even. Don't be fooled just because you spray it on and it may not seem to be that much. Trust me, the fragrance is going to blossom and it's going to go out. I sprayed just 1 going on when doing a review, and people could smell me, standing a couple feet away. All it took was 1 spray to the back of the hand, which is not the most ideal place to actually spray a fragrance, but even with it there, it was able to carry. So 3 sprays is a lot. Personally, I go usually 2. 1 is enough though, depending on when you are or where you are. For the occasion, I think it's a perfect suit and tie fragrance. This is a scent that can easily double for a signature scent or one scent that you're actually known through and through by. It's a scent that, does well in the casual role at the same time. It can double as a work fragrance, but even if you go for work fragrance, please be careful with the trigger. You can easily overspray on this one. For the season-wise, I think it's an all-year season fragrance. That out of the way, be careful in the summer months. So the months or the times when it's extremely hot or hotter than 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and then I would suggest, toning it down and possibly only going 1 spray or foregoing this overall. It has excellent projection, and by excellent, I mean people will smell you from a couple feet away. It has excellent sillage. You're going to leave a scent trail behind you. And as far as hours go, this one lasts anywhere between 10 and 20 hours on me. It has a little bit of a variance at that, but it's definitely going to last at least the most of the 8-hour work day that you're actually going to wear it. So it's a powerful one, and it actually does tend to stick on your clothes. So be careful on that one as well too. So with all fragrances, I take them out and I had 100 different people smell them at Times Square. Unfortunately, I was not able to do that with this one. Why? Because this was the only thing that I had. Most samples I get 2 or 3 of, and I'm able to actually go through the review and able to spritz and have different people smell it off of the strips. This one I wasn't able to do. I simply just did not have enough juice. I almost completely used this off, and that was just for my testing that I actually went through. So please be aware. I'm sorry about that. Maybe I'll get to it at another date. But either way, if I'm going to go ahead and give this fragrance a rating, I give it a rating of a 9 out of 10. Why do I give it a 9 out of 10? Now, 9 out of 10, there's a huge caveat. Number 1, this is a dated fragrance. By dated, I mean a lot of people may think that you smell like an old man, right? To me, though, that doesn't take away that this is an actual good fragrance. As long as you apply it, if you can rock it, if you can pull off this image, this will do magical wonders. Rouge is absolutely fantastic for that just scenario. The second thing is, it's definitely not for everyone. And by not for everyone, I mean, it's, besides being dated, besides being having the aspect of possibly smelling like an old man or somebody that you may have known growing up as an old man or whatever the case may be, it's still, I guess you could say, kind of going with the same thing. It's just not cutting edge. You have to have a certain mentality and a certain aura to pull this one off. I also saw that some people mentioned that this was the men's version of Shalimar, and I agree. I actually think it is kind of a classic fragrance that you definitely have smelled if you've been around fragrances, at least at some point or another, and that it is, one of those powdery, bombshell go-to scents. All that said, I firmly believe in portion control. 1 spray, 2 sprays maximum, and you're good with this one. And you can pull off such an aura that you exude confidence, regality, and all kind of rolled into one, and you can make it work. If for that, outside of that, I actually really love the smell. This is going to be a fragrance that I pick up the full bottle with. The full bottle is on my list of fragrances that I need to pick up. So all of that said, I actually love the scent. However, I can understand if this turns some people off. So with that in mind, try before you buy. Always try before you buy, but in this one in particular, really try before you buy. Anyways, let me know in your comments down below what your thoughts are on this scent. Let me know what your experiences are with, if you plan on purchasing it, or anyone else's, experiences with this particular scent. I'm planning on doing a couple more reviews from the Guerlain house, so keep a lookout for that. All right. Thank you. Take care of yourselves and have a great day.